Tens of thousands of workers in Melbourne will return to the office for the first time since March, but many are frustrated because they are still required to wear face masks at the desk. That's despite the state marking its 30th consecutive day with no new cases.
Let's get today's take on this with Shelley Horton and Ben Fordo. What do you think about masks in the office? I remember coming out of the pandemic and there was still some mask wearing here, or the old offices too.
Yeah, look, I mean, you've got to roll with the punches and you've got to transition. I know that I've just ducked into the makeup department and Mary, who was doing my makeup, thank you very much, Mary.
It's a good job. It's a terrific job.
Special effects.
She's not wearing...
He's 44 now.
She's not wearing the mask permanently, but there are times when she has to put the mask on, like when she's applying makeup to someone's face. So they're the rules that we have at the moment. I think when you're making your way around some offices, they say you've got to wear a mask. It's pretty hard when you're sitting at your desk, tapping away on your computer or talking on the phone to do it. But we're transitioning at the moment. But I can understand why it'd be frustrating for people.
A big difference between a makeup artist who's right up in your face and having to touch your face, etc., to then an office worker, Shelley, who's at a desk and having to sit a couple of square metres away from the next person, right?
Look, this is where I get confused. Why do we have one rule for one state and another rule for another? If this is all on health advice...
Because we're no longer one country, Shelley.
It seems to be
Get with
like
the times.
Federation, Shelley.
It seems to be like that. But I can understand why the people in Melbourne are just like, come on, I'm sitting at my desk, I'm socially distant. You know, I don't want to wear a mask all day.
They are supposedly in eradication now after 28 days.
Well, they have done so well, and I feel like they haven't been rewarded for the absolute hard work they did in lockdown. So I kind of understand their frustration. I agree that if it is a situation where you can't socially distance...
But if you're hot desking and stuff like that, is that...
Well, no, that's about cleaning the desk. That's not actually...
But there's double standards everywhere.
And
that's been a hallmark of coronavirus and our response to it. There's no uniform rule. You have a look at religious gatherings in the lead up to Christmas. I think there should be a relaxation of rules around religious gatherings when you consider that you can have 40, 50,000 people in a sports stadium watching rugby league or AFL or cricket or whatever it is, and meanwhile you've got a cap, say in New South Wales, for example, of 300 people indoors and 500 people outdoors. What's the difference between going to a religious gathering or going to a game of football?
Some would say it's the same thing. It
is a religion.
Spoken like a true Queenslander. All right, also making news this morning, Aussies have had a love affair with cruising, but COVID-19 certainly put the brakes on that. This morning, however, a new campaign is being launched to get Aussies back on the boats from as early as next month with new and improved COVID rules and protocols designed to protect passengers. Shelley, though, you know, you've got to think the Ruby Princess comes straight to everyone's mind when we think about cruising and Australians. What do you think about this? Is this going to help? That being said and done, I know so many people who are cruise heads.
My parents.
And they are like defo going back on.
Yeah, I rang Mum this morning because they've been on 9 cruises, you know, probably over the last 10 years. They love a cruise. I think she's really going to miss the buffet. However, she said if everyone is doing the right thing and they have done a deep clean of the ship, they do the COVID test before you go on, you have temperature checks every day, like that's probably safer than a lot of other places. What she said, though, is as an avid cruiser, she tried to book in 2021 and 2022 and they're booked out. So everyone sort of has just postponed it. So she said to get you onto like the first ship, the first cruise, there's going to have to be some good deals or something to entice people to be the floating guinea pig.
The smaller cruise lines have already done all of this. So they've already ticked all of these boxes. So they've found ways, and they've been cruising around Europe for the last 6 months. They've found ways of making sure that everyone passes the test to get on. There's COVID-safe practices when you're on board the ships, and we really do need to get beyond the Ruby Princess thing. While we're right to think about the Ruby Princess cruise, because that was probably one of the key crises that we faced in Australia as far as coronavirus is concerned, we need to get past that and say, well, there's no reason why you can't make it coronavirus safe.
And I think it's safe to say we've learned from that mistake as well, surely. Guys, stay with us when we come back this morning. DIY. Sir Elton John has opened up about his record-breaking collection of music, saying he has more than 120,000 CDs and 15,000 vinyl records. Order.
No, Fordo and Shelley is here to discuss this. Shelley, before my wife, whom I adore, 12 years of marriage yesterday. Really,
congratulations.
Thank you. And but 2 years in, the CD collection was left.
Cold.
That was just taken out of the equation, and
She stole it from
you. No, she's like, this goes. This goes.
She threw it out.
Yeah. She goes, no, come on, it's all online now.
It's digital now.
Yeah,
This
but
is
it's
how
something
I
about
feel.
looking at something and, oh, there's the track listing. These are the musicians and that's the
Sounds
artwork.
like she's taking your spirit away. Just putting it out there.
Okay.
Lisa?
But she brought back the Christmas spirit yesterday, so it's all okay.
But I mean, it's just what's happening. Look, you can't say he's a hoarder, he's a collector. This is something about hunter-gatherer.
I don't know. Once you get over 100,000 of anything, it's hoarding. Surely.
That'd be about the same as
Depends about the size of the house, really, doesn't it?
It's true. You've got a lot of space to fill.
What do you think?
So, well, my husband has vinyl, and
There you go.
he
Beautiful.
swears that the sound's different.
It
I'm
is.
like, no.
Mate, the clarity.
To my ear, I'm like, And then it's really annoying to change records. I'm like, mate, just put it on Spotify, bit of a shuffle, done.
Yeah.
Happy days.
There's a guy who runs...
You're crying.
Dying.
I know. There's a
We're not
record
talking.
store in Newtown called Repressed Records. And a few years ago, a bloke's there walking behind the counter and this elderly gentleman walks in a matching tracksuit,
Nice.
Love it.
coloured glasses,
Oh, yeah.
Elton John, Sir Elton John.
Get out of
And he was
No.
there buying. He had a whole list of what he wanted. And when he buys a record, he buys multiples because he buys them as gifts for other people. So he has been propping up the vinyl industry
Yeah, sure.
well before vinyl had made a comeback. So,
There you go.
you know, whatever floats your boat, Sir
Vinyl
Elton.
My
and
husband Pete
feathers.
might be doing a bit of that too.
Yeah, well, he's
popping
got the
them up.
vinyl
I'd
too.
love to see him in a matching tracksuit and things.
It's funny, that's what he's asked for. He wants a matching Adidas striped tracksuit and a baby one for Oscar. So
Pete's going to go the full
around
Elton.
That's cute.
board.
He's going the full Elton.
That's
Well,
cute.
the full Elton.
A half Elton.
I hope not.
Good old half Elton. Happy birthday for the half Eltons.
Also making the news this morning, I'm still married, and a do-it-yourself disaster. A woman has gone viral for her attempt at painting her boyfriend. She bought a paint-by-numbers set, which had been specifically created in his image, but this was the result. Here it comes.
Oh.
Oops-a-daisy.
He's so handsome too. That's a shame.
Sometimes
Yeah.
spending less doesn't really work out, does it?
But you know what? There's something about that I love. I love that it's so bad because it's like it's so bad that it's good.
Yeah.
So he'll always have, as long as I don't look like that photo, I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
So I don't mind it. I think, look, it's funny. Everyone had a good laugh online. I think it's fantastic.
the thought
That's
that
like
counts.
Monkey Jesus again, isn't it? Remember when they did that? The fresco artist did that thing again and it
Yeah.
didn't look like
It
Jesus
didn't,
anymore.
yeah.
Pearl did one of you. Is that right?
Well, what, have you guys got
Yeah,
something
Pearl,
here?
did she do?
I don't know.
There it
That's right.
Oh, that's uncanny. That
bit
like,
You know what?
That's
She
incredible.
is. She's an abstract artist in the making. And
that's like blue
look,
pulse.
I know when you get caught out. A few years ago, I went to a Channel 9 function and we got a freebie bag when we went in, and there was perfume in it. And I thought, oh, well, I'll gift that to Jodie as part of her Christmas. So I kind of
course
put it
you
in
did.
her thing.
Tight
What I
ass.
didn't realise is another guest at the same function put on Instagram saying, wow, look at this goodie bag that we got.
Oh man.
And then Jodie was like, was this a freebie you got at a Channel 9 thing? And I was like, I can't recall. She said, because it looks strikingly similar to what Alyssa put up on Instagram a week
Can I
ago.
just say we
Gotta
are
be careful.
all still married and happy. After that segment, I'm not so
Hanging
sure.
on by a thread, though. Very good.
Thanks,
Happy
you guys.
birthday to you too.
Yeah, happy
Thank you very
44th,
much.
mate.
Thank you very much.
Nice.
Never felt better.
Pearl beautifully captured your colourful and chaotic personality. In my
Love you, Pearl.
See you,
See you
Cheryl. See you
soon.
for
Coming up on Today Extra, the Aussie actor who's